Welcome to the Director's Take. We got some episodes recorded from last year, which we kind of did live actually, in front of a little audience at Manchester MetFilm School. This one is with Corin Silva, who's an actor, very talented. He's been in some of your work, but also he's in the upcoming film Wasteman with David Johnson. Has been in SAS Rogue Heroes. He was in Masters of the Air as well. Why we felt it was important to bring him on, he cares about short films. He loves short films as a medium, and also he's constantly reaching out to directors to work with them in their short films.
I think one of the things that I highlighted was that I think he's been in over 100 short films.
Very, very talented actor. So that's gonna form the basis of our chat, which we'll get into in a bit. But I think it would be good to kind of get into what we've actually been up to this week.
Yeah, so I've been doing a bit of teaching. I'm back at the film school since I finished and wrapped on shooting TV. And I am also in a bit of a writing phase and trying to work about what the next step is for me. Because the episode is not going to be out till later on in the year. You create something and it takes ages to come out, but no one can see that you've actually done the thing until it comes out.
And a big well done to us. I mean, I've already congratulated you privately, but I think
yes,
to get through your first episode of TV and do it successfully and have everyone be happy, when you get that first gig, you're seen as a risk for whatever reason, and they kind of disregard the ability or any of the background you've done to reach the point of being in the room with them. And the fact that you've kind of come through it with flying colours, I think it's just a massive achievement, really.
Well, thanks, man.
And hopefully we need lots of people like you kind of showing it's actually fine to trust the right people so that that pipeline can open up again. I've been on set this week. That's been a thing. I've been tutoring at the NFTS as well. I actually did I filmed a masterclass for one, which was cool, for the CEO of the Toronto Film Festival, Cameron Bailey. So that was in partnership with Rolex, so that will be coming out soon, which you could actually all listen to. So I think that will be a thing maybe releasing either at the end of the month or beginning of next month, which is very insightful. But I kind of did an interview, which is fun. I did an interview for a magazine, so that's going to be out at some point as well, which will kind of signpost, I'm sure. And yeah, otherwise, we've not released the episode yet, but we do have one recorded on it. I shot a film using a volume wall last year, like a virtual production thing, and we locked that this week. Locked it. Basically signed off the DCP, and so that's going to be going to testing, so we can start screening. So that's been a big old journey.
Are you going to put it on festivals?
Yeah. We've kind of sent it to a couple, but it's it's a sci-fi piece. It's a super sci-fi piece. It's set in the same world as one of my feature film ideas, but it's probably more broader sci-fi than the film that I'll be eventually making. So yeah, that's been a whole thing.
That's great.
Yeah, that's been good.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing it because I've seen the previs and I've seen a couple of stills.
Oh, you have seen the previs, haven't you? Yeah. So it was good. I think after being on House of the Dragon, because I'd spent so long learning about the process of filmmaking, I remember getting on House of the Dragon and seeing visual effects and stunts are the areas that I don't have that same level of knowledge about. So I've just been going all in on it. And yeah, so obviously made Space Plug, which is very visual effects heavy, and then doing a virtual production film in itself is a whole different layer of work. So,
and what's really good about it is with the previs and everything that you've done is that all the kind of bells and whistles of VFX is actually rooted in character, and that's what's really important, is that the tools allow you to enhance the storytelling abilities that you've got in front of you, because otherwise it's just nothing, is it?
Yeah, no, exactly. And I think what's cool is that you'll be able to see a side-by-side comparison, and it's exactly what the previs is what we shot. There's not much deviation. It's all sort of there. And before we actually came on air, we spoke a lot about tone as well, and I think we probably are due an updated chat on that at some point.
I think so, definitely.
But it was really cool to craft a tone, which as we were speaking about, I was kind of thinking, if you put all of my short films side by side, every single one looks different. They've all got their own thing going on, and I think that's something we probably have to highlight. Or probably do a deep dive on it at some point.
But I guess there's authorship there as well, though, isn't there? You can still see that it's come from one brain.
Yeah.
You might not be able to see that yourself, but onlookers can.
Yeah. And how you get to pass through all the other brains and get the most out of them as well. That's a skill, isn't it?
Absolutely. Yeah. All right, cool. Well, that segues us into the episode. Enjoy it. And just a little bit of background about Corin. He plays the lead role of Ryan in Paramount's hit comedy series Stags. Prior to this, he portrayed Lieutenant Colonel John Bennett in the hit Apple series Masters of the Air, executively produced by Tom Hanks and Steven Spielberg. He also shines as Jim Almonds in the BBC's highly acclaimed and action-packed series SAS Rogue Heroes, which just came out with a season 2 at the beginning of the year, directed by Tom Shackland. Additionally, Corin appears as Frank Volheimer in the Netflix series All the Lights We Cannot See, based on the award-winning novel. He's also just, I'm not allowed to say what it is, just recently completed a new project with DC.
Yeah, a DC thing and a Apple TV show.
Yes.
Yeah.
The reason we've got him on today as well is because his journey has been really incredible, and he's actually acted in over 100 short films over the years. So welcome, Corin.
Thank you.
So we usually start with very, very simple, basic questions to kind of feel your way into it, but it's as complex as you want to get. So first up, what is acting, Corin?
Fucking hell. For me, it's just fun. It's getting to express things that maybe I should have, expressed to real people through my life. But it gives me a chance to exercise some thoughts and emotions. I like living in this fantasy world sometimes, and getting to switch between them is great. I think someone described it to me once as living truthfully under imagined circumstances. And I like to think that's what pretty much it is. That's what it boils down to. And why I like doing it, I don't know.
Yeah, that's great. And what got you interested in acting? Like, what was the starting point for you?
Starting point, classic, just school plays, and I was the only one who wanted to do them, so I got the leads all the time. It was just good. I mean, my dad used to make the costumes. We made Macbeth and Henry VIII we did, and other ones. And yeah, I don't know, I used to just love it. I was just like being loud and, yeah, something to do, center of attention. But I don't know, it was just great fun, and then went from there.
And what was the point where you decided, because, I mean, a lot of people do things sometimes under duress, like at school, or like whose parents kind of are with them on that journey. But once you become an adult and you have to make that choice, but whether to pursue it as a career, what was that decision like? And what was the point when you was like, this is my intention to go make this the job?
Yeah. I will say, I definitely wasn't under duress. Like, yeah. I wanted to do it. Loads of people were saying, what the fuck are you doing? Yeah. And that has continued for a while. And people always doubt you until you do a bit of telly, apparently. And then everyone's like, oh, yeah. It's like, yeah, I liked it anyway. Yeah. But I think I didn't realise that I loved it, and I was just doing it. And I didn't realise that that's what I wanted to do. I kept thinking I wanted to be a chef or a vet or a fireman. And that was it. And I mixed them. I didn't do anything. I wasn't saving any animals or people from fires. I was just doing acting throughout all this time. And I think it was in like college, I took drama. And I did drama in high school and stuff, but then in college I did drama. Still didn't know then, and it was probably about 19, 20. About 10 years ago. Maybe a bit before. And then took it from there. Yeah. And then realised that, I've done nothing for these other careers that I apparently wanted to be in. I've done loads of acting on school plays, so I started doing short films.
That's great.
You said in an interview that back in the day, there used to be a fear that if I let go of the emotion between takes, I won't be able to bring it back when the director asks for the goods on action. So you said back then as well that you'd have to go around all day having that feeling of that big emotion. How have you overcome that fear, and what work in your craft has helped?
I don't know if I have overcome it completely, to be honest. It comes with me a lot, and I do always have a fear, even though I'm enjoying myself and and whatnot. I think it just comes with expressing your art form, because I don't know why you want people to like it. I think all artists do, even though it's for you and it's very personal. Well, that's it. I guess it explains itself. It's so personal. But yeah, I used to be like that for sure. But now I tried to just understand that you can have, and I guess again it goes to all art forms. You want to have the muse, to hand. You want to have it, and that's where you try to keep onto it. And I think now letting things go and letting things flow through you is a much more, keeps you sane as well, but it's a much more like natural way, because I think everyone's capable of anything they want, and every emotion can come to you. Even by the time you're 16, you probably felt every emotion really that you're ever going to feel in a certain way. And knowing that you can get there when you need to get there, and having trust in the people around you, but you are capable of it. So you don't have to just sit there sad all day. You just got a crying scene later.
Yeah. It's also then you're probably not a great person on set to be around.
No. And I've always wanted to try, a more methody way, like Daniel Day-Lewis or something like that, and living in it. I think I would probably enjoy it, to be honest, but that's not the same. I was there like Corin in a trailer, but sad. You know what I mean? And still doing, like, maybe I'm just whatever. I'm not completely my character, staying in the accent. I'm just trying to be in the emotion. But by the time you get to it, you're spent.
Yeah.
No,
I get that. And how much of a performance is shaped by, like, the actor that is opposite you, would you say? And how much does that help with those moments?
Yeah, entirely. Of course, you need to being around people that elevate you. Being around people that just, it's not about what they've done or how good they're supposed to be or anything like that. It's just whether or not they are looking at you properly and you're looking at them. And you might be the one that's not a weak link, but you know what I mean? You might be the one who's not entirely there, and you're not giving it to that person. But when two people are just there, engaged, that's when it's beautiful, and it's so important. I think, there's times for monologues and whatnot, and that's you there in your own space to a much greater degree. But yeah, the people that are around you and your mindset and just all the crew as well, everyone around you, it's all just so important to like the ecosystem. And then for you personally as an actor, how you are then going to be involved, how you turning up. Yeah.
Because this is the director's take, and I'm sure that we've got a lot of, budding directors in the audience. From your experience of working with people from, short film level to, all the way up to All the Lights We Can See, or whatever it's called, like that's a huge set.
Sean Navy set.
Yeah.
It's great.
What do you think makes a good director from your point of view?
Damn. What makes a good director? I guess, it's just like what makes it, whether you like anyone. I think there's so many points, so many facets to someone, why their thing works. You know what I mean? And, I've had directors that just care about the actors and they really just they don't give a damn about anything else. I'm really swearing so much here. So
You're allowed to swear?
Okay, good. But they don't care about anything else. Like, give a shit about anything else. But they don't, because they'll trust the DP, they'll trust everyone around them. All they care about is talking to an actor. And again, and that's brilliant. And then you've had people that, and we love that because, love it when it's all about us. But then you get directors that you've seen big picture stuff and they trust you. And that can be great too. When someone entrusts you, they know that you're going to give it. So they don't need to be there babying you because that's not their style. And if they tried to, it probably wouldn't work. If they tried to come in and give little tiny notes, you'd be like, we're not gelling in that way. We're gelling in the way of trust and, going out and you're doing your thing. But what makes a good director, I don't know, it's just that it's what makes a good artist is just somebody who cares about it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I think if you care about it, you can come at it in so many ways. But if you actually give a shit, then you will find your way. And then hopefully it all gels.
Yeah.
But he usually does.
Yeah. And once you've kind of, once you get like a script or like a story comes in, you like book the job, and you sit down with the script for the first time because you're going to be on set in the coming weeks or coming days. What sort of things are you looking to do? What are you pulling from the script in order to do your job? What are the things you need to know so you can do your best work?
You know, this has been a problem for me because I keep hearing about new techniques and I keep trying them out. So I'm really not staying on them too long to really know. But if I knew one worked, I'd stick with it. But reading it a lot, that was, I think I heard Anthony Hopkins say that he reads it 200 times. And I'm like, yeah, I should. I'm nowhere near that. Yeah. But I should definitely get close. Yeah. Because the guy's fucking amazing. And when you do that, you get past you read something and you got all these ideas and these notions. And what's a problem I've found is when you read a script and I'll read it out loud because I've got to learn it in 2 days for an audition. Should really be doing one right now, actually. One came in yesterday. But like when you speak it out loud in your voice, it's so hard to get rid of that preconception that you now have. That you say it like this. And then when you come to audition time, you're like, oh, I've discovered so much more about it. You end up doing it just like you did it the first time. I have. But trying to get away from that and trying to have these ideas about what it should be. And again, it's like letting it flow. But I think reading it a lot is 100%. And then I heard someone say that you should read it when you're in different emotional states. And so I'll go to the gym and I'll read it. I'll listen to it I'll try and read it flat now and listen to the lines and speak them back. And I'll go for a walk or something. So I don't hear it in a way and I can say it a new way every time. And then I'm trying to get away from being too
rigid.
No, yeah, too rigid, but too intellectual about it. It like trying to break down all these little, like, this is like this. And it's like, it's not. Just, if you know the line, you've got to know the lines, and that's the problem. But once they're in, not having any ideas, and so not being don't intellectualize it, I think would be the main thing for me now.
That's great.
So you played Jim Almonds in BBC's SAS Rogues, and then Lieutenant John Bennett in Apple's Masters of the Air. I've watched interviews with you where you've talked about the weight of those characters. So how do you balance the justice of artistic interpretation with a sense of obligation of staying true to those characters?
Yeah, and it has been it's so amazing to play people that are, especially World War II, like, and they really were bloody heroes, the stuff they got up to, crazy. But, if I didn't, I never got to talk to Bennett's family, because it was, I was only on a couple of scenes and whatnot, but I think if I didn't get the go-ahead from Jim's family, because I know Jim's daughter, his granddaughter, and his great-grandsons now. And they were actually on season 2, the great-grandsons, we got them in. It was great. Got them in uniform. And, but they said I did a good job of doing the granddad and great-granddad and dad. And that's enough for me. And like, I was, yeah. When I first met them, I was so terrified. But they like it. Yeah. And yeah.
Did you do specific research and prep with them? Did you have to read up a lot about him? Did you do interviews with the family?
Yeah. We didn't do interviews. We've spoken. We've got we text sometimes and whatnot. And I've spoken to him on the phone. I also went. I don't know what I thought I was going to glean from it, but I went to his hometown and proper like a stalker, just stood at his house. And I think his granddaughter or daughter still lived in it. But we hadn't started filming season 1 yet, so I was just a stranger. And I stood there like, yeah, I'm getting it. It's like just a town in Lincolnshire, Stixwold. But I'm reading all the, as many diary. He kept an amazing diary throughout the whole war. And I've only seen bits of it. I'd love to see more. But going through that has been amazing. And hearing there was an interview they did, the SAS guys in the 70s. And so you could actually see Jim and hear him when he was about 60 odd at the time. But hearing his voice and seeing his movements, that was brilliant. Having just only one doc of them all together. So yeah.
Brilliant. You said in another bit of interview that I did some research on you.
I don't remember saying any of these things, you know.
All the research.
You can't hold me to this.
But you said, I got nervous, but I learned to not let a massive Hollywood production all the lights we cannot see change the way that I act.
Yeah.
You've got to stay you. So that's what you said. So my question is, when did you realise that no scene is bigger than the moment between two people? Because we spoke about it a bit before and I stopped you from going into it.
Yeah.
So when you go onto a big set, I mean, it's one of the things that Marcus and I kind of experienced first when we went to House of the Dragon. You've got sets that size of Tesco Extra, you know, that look incredible. And you're like, oh my gosh.
That is exactly right.
And you kind of like, you're kind of taken away from that. But then as we were on it so much, because we were on it for a year and a half, we just realised that actually none of that actually matters.
Mm.
So when did you as an actor, because we've got actors here, when did you as an actor realise that actually it's not about that, it's about two people?
Yeah, I don't know at the moment. And it's funny that I should say that I didn't let it get to me on that Hollywood thing, because it bloody did get to me. I had to call my acting coach. I was like, I'm freaking out here. Trying to do a German accent, I'm losing it, and all the Americans are everywhere. And but I don't know the moment where I realised, but it's so true. And we were saying that less impressed, more involved, which is just don't let the moment get bigger than you, because there's nothing bigger than you. And same for everyone. Do you know what I mean? It's like you're there, and it's. But I think when you've done the work, and you know what you're going to do, and you can go through some simple blocking so you don't feel like you're, in space, and you're there, and you just get smaller and smaller each time until at the end of the day you're just looking at another actor in the eyes, and that's it. And then everything, you forget about everything, and you do. But if you've let everything get around you and swirl, you can forget that this is it. But when you are in the moment, and they are too, like we were just talking about, you just forget it. And no set is nothing. No performance is ever bigger than another one. Is doing a short, unpaid student short, and doing this Hollywood thing. This just you looking in another actor's eyes and being as honest as possible.
Yeah, I remember once. Laura said, "If you want." I remember we were all, when we were on House of the Dragon. Was me and Marcus were sat next to the screen, and there was this massive battle going on. And do you remember Miguel said, "It's mad in it that everything's just about that."
Yeah. Hundreds of people outside were like throwing like stuff into the frame, and fans going, and yeah. It's not about any of that. Like ultimately, it's just focusing in.
And you can do all the big battles and dragons in the world, and if there's no moments where two people are just quietly talking, no one would care. It'd be a trailer. You know what I mean? It wouldn't be a good trailer.
Yeah.
I always said this, like, you could make a good movie, you could make an Oscar-winning movie with two actors in a white room on a bloody two chairs. Like, if you've got the script down and you've got the performance and it's perfect and it's human life just taken and perfectly shown, it could be one of the great films of all time if it was perfect. You don't need the rest of it's just fanfare.
So you just need skills. You don't need the whole fanfare. But we teach in it, Milder.
Yeah, it's true. And you touched upon like having an acting coach in the last answer, and I believe you haven't trained formally.
No.
So what has your training been like? Like I've got down here that you've like studied Meisner and working with both feet.
Both feet, yeah. That's what I'm referring to. Steph at both feet, and it's not like I say acting coach. She is, of course, but we've not gone. We just go like these 8-9 day retreats and stuff. And it's my introduction into Meisner, which has helped me with all the things we've just been discussing about flowing and not holding on to stuff. And she saw that in me immediately. That I was definitely holding on, thinking, it's got to be big. It's got to be putting it on a pedestal as well, and thinking this moment has to be great.
Oh, worrying about the moment and not the situation.
Yeah.
That
was me, definitely me a lot more before this. And studying Meisner, I think for me, it's a great way of doing things. It's just about being there. That's all it's about. Being in there.
Is that what it is? Can you summarise? Because I don't actually know what Meisner is.
Yeah, it's just putting your focus on the other person, and they're putting it on you, and being in the moment, but in doing so, and not having any preconceptions, and in doing so, there's some great actors do it as well. Some of my faves, Sam Rockwell does it. I think Brendan Gleeson goes with it. You know what I mean? And Rockwell apparently, I'm just saying a story I've heard now. He might do, but each take could be different with him, and that's when you at a great level. Do you know what I mean? Because you look at me and you say something like, you know, we're going to have to leave in a minute. And you say it like that, or you say it like, we're going to have to leave in a minute. And that's different. And it should be different. So if I'm listening to you and paying full attention to you, then my reaction to that would be different. It'd be like, okay. Or it'd be like, okay. You know what I mean? Like if you, the little twitch of the eye means something different. If you pull your face, if you turn and you say it like that, it's all different. Whereas if you've just rehearsed, this is how it's going to be, you're giving it, and you're getting something new each time, but you're giving this, then you're not engaging, you're just performing at someone. You're not.
Do you find that you have that freedom in TV land? Because obviously in TV land, you know, the execs are on set. In TV, the execs and showrunners run everything. So do you have that leeway in there or not?
Yeah, I think so. Or maybe I've just been doing it in the fuming. I don't know. But I think you can, because again, it's just down to the actors, you know. And you can, whether someone doesn't have to be trained, you don't have to have two actors trained in it. You know what I mean? You could have someone who's giving it just the way they're going to give it, you know. It always changes anyway. But if you're really looking for it, if you're really engaged with that person, you'll see a change and you can then adapt. Something might just spark in you like that, you know. That's the dream. That's the goal I'm aiming for. To have every take different.
and it's just something that you do in the moment.
Editors hate me.
It's something you just do in the moment. You don't just say you lead the thing.
No, I mean on set, no, it would, because that in an exercise. In fact, no, not in an exercise. You think you're just looking at each other and doing a repetition exercises, which is the big thing.
Well, like you say like a phrase, like, and then you just keep saying it, and then you switch it up, and then you have to follow.
That's it.
And you say it as flat as possible, right? But then you kind of follow.
Yeah, but you don't do it as flat as possible. You just say it.
Yeah.
You say it like, but you notice something about you. You're wearing a blue jacket. Yeah. Wearing a blue jacket.
You're wearing a blue jacket.
And then you only change when you have to change.
Yeah.
When you want to change. And if you say, you're wearing a blue jacket, and I go, you're wearing a blue jacket, because it pissed me off. And then you said it like that.
Yeah.
And then, you know, that's it. They're just being completely, and it sounds silly, but before you know it, you're in a completely different, like it's all of a sudden you just go, your heart drop and you start crying. Like, the damn jacket.
I've seen, like, when I've gone to some acting workshops and stuff, I've seen people having breakdowns, I've seen people like scream at each other, but it's just from back and forth repetition. Yeah.
That's why I think it's a really, really cool way of doing things.
Like you're riding the wave of emotion rather than the words, you know,
Yeah, and no one gets it right the first time. Everyone's just like clashing, and then all of a sudden you just sink into it. Yeah.
Cool stuff.
Yeah, it's fun.
So, have you ever had to rewire your instincts for a director's vision, or did you ever clash, or anything like that, or something that's grown on you as a performer? Because the reason I mention this is as a question is because I remember when we did I did a short with Corin that we shot a couple of years ago, about 18 months ago it was. Yeah, and
not in the show reel.
It's not in the show reel, no. He hasn't even seen it yet.
I can send you a link.
But I remember that I had a particular vision for your character, and what I really liked, and it was a bit of a learning moment for me as well, is that you kind of pushed back in a good way, that you saw the character as something else, but the vision I had was something else. But when I got into the edit, and I trusted you with it, your what you said was right. So how do you go about them situations when you see something a little bit different to how a director works? And
it's not come up much. And I think a good director as well, knowing that we're all, emotionally charged creatures, especially when we get to do our dream job, like talking to an actor in a way that just they get their point across. They do a little inception on you. You know what I mean? Like they go, well, I was just thinking, and you go, yeah. Makes you think it was your idea. And then they've got what they wanted. But it's not happened where much of a butted heads. Maybe like I've seen one where I was on a job where I didn't understand the director's vision with it, because we run out of money and time, and that's not the plot. That was just it's just the set. But like, and so we got it. We have to combine things and chop things out and all this. And we're all just, sweet summer children thinking everything's going to be great. The actors, that is. And then he's like, no, this is gone and that, and we're pushing. And I'm like, what? And I just didn't see it. But also, I don't think he had time to explain it to me. He was just like, just do what I say. And I was like, well, right. You know what I mean? And then that little, we ended up being great friends, and we fixed that up. But like, it was just a bit of a, when I can't see their vision and they ain't got time to tell me it, then I'm like, I feel at sea. And then I was just like, this is not right. Like, because I had notions about what was going to happen, and they weren't happening. You know what I mean? Well, they really weren't happening. It's big changes. So yeah, that was an odd one, but again, worked out at the end.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good.
It's the trust in it. You know, you just got to trust each other.
Having a relationship.
Yeah.
And when you're kind of like doing takes, or you're like in the middle of a scene, or you've done the rehearsal, and something isn't quite right, have you learnt to kind of speak up, or like trust your instincts, or trust the director and just kind of go with it, or like what sort of work do you do internally or externally to?
Yeah, do you know, it was, I remember when I didn't trust him, it was on Rogue Heroes. I was so nervous on season 1, like, there's so many great actors, and it was my first big thing. And it was Alfie Allen, and I really wanted to do another take or something. It was this moment, Jim has his Bible, and, you know, he was a deeply religious guy. And so it was an important moment to him, and then to me. But like, I really, really wanted to do another take, and I didn't have the bottle to say to the director, because it was a night shoot, and I thought, they're not going to want to hear this from me. And Alfie, I said it to Alfie, and he's like, we already moved on. But Alfie was like, mate, always say it. Always do it. If you're not happy, there's always time. They just tell you there's no time. You know, sometimes there's no time. Yeah. But there's usually a little time, especially if you're already in the setup. Yeah. All you got to do is hit the red button or something. I don't know what they do, but
yeah, that's all it is. Yeah,
pretty much. Yeah. And it was only a short scene. So, but I didn't do it then. And from then on, I'm like, no, I'm doing it. And now I've always thought there's like this thing of like for me, I call it like the fourth take, or it's always the fourth one, but the first one, sometimes it might not go right. It might be great or whatever, but it might not go right because it wasn't what I had in my mind. Second one, the director wants to do something. And then third, the technical or something, whatever. Yeah. And then all of the pressure of the scene, which I'm trying to let go of anyway, but is now kind of gone because the scene's done. And then I'm like, can I do another one? The fourth one. Might be the 20th. But when all that pressure's gone, then I always end up doing one that I'm really happy with. Yeah. When it's just like, yeah, we got it. And I'm like, okay, another one then. And then something in my body just goes,
yeah.
And then the fourth one, I always like, worst.
Funny that, because that, like, I usually do around 3 takes unless something's going wrong and you can't quite nail something. And then, yeah, but I always kind of usually offer the actors, like, is there anything you want to try if I haven't got anything new to say? And usually, like, they'll either, like, shit themselves briefly, or, like, because they've been put under pressure, but then they'll kind of, if they say yes, you kind of do it. And then usually you can tell they have more fun with it.
Yeah.
And it is, yeah.
Because there's some invisible thing that, like, even though you're in the zone and you're in the moment, everyone's flowing, there's some invisible thing that it's still going to go well. Yeah. Still got to be a good show, good film. Yeah. And I love that. I think there's less time on TV in general, of course. But, like, yeah, just a director saying that, or one for fun or something like that. Yeah. You know what I mean? That's the same thing. Yeah.
So, what is meant by taking direction?
God, you hit me with these big ethical ones, these big...
Give an example of bad directing that you've had as well, if possible, and then a good one.
Oh, going to be a follow-up. Yeah. I didn't want to reveal that straight away.
I like it when I say, can we change the whole character? And they go, yes. You nailed that, Oz. Yeah. What's meant by good direction?
No, what's meant by taking direction? You know, like, sometimes people say, when directors talk, they'll say, oh, have you heard this actor? Yeah, they take really good direction. What's meant by that?
I think it just being open fully to the idea of whatever the flavour that they're spinning. And that doesn't make sense. That's an amalgamation of 2 sayings there. But whatever flavour they're spinning is just taking that on board and going with it and trying it out. And so many times it's great. You know, I love direction. You know, because you'll end up in a bubble in your own little echo chamber. It can do that. You think you got to know how it's going to go. So you try and do it in different ways, but you know how it's going to go. Someone can just go, try that. And you're like, cool. Very cool. And yeah, that's I love it. I love it. And sometimes you're thinking like, better my way, but but I'll still do it.
So
That's professional. Yeah.
So an example of bad directing, other than do it better,
Do it better.
faster.
Do it faster. More tears.
Yeah.
Bad direction. I think just shutting someone down, I think is not, you know, and some people are just different in the way they communicate, you know what I mean? But good communicators are great and they get through life in general easier, but a good communicator on set is like essential, isn't it? Like you've got to, but when, you know, you've got an idea and someone's like, nah, no. And then you questions because you're just shutting down an artist, you're shutting down their artistic form. And it's like saying, someone's like, that's not your fucking paint. You know what I mean? It's like, and you're just like, okay. But again, you know, there's a way of doing everything. And yeah, and if handled badly, I think that can just cause this rift. Yeah.
That's it, isn't it? It's like, if an actor has an idea, then it's on you to kind of listen to it because it's coming from somewhere. And even if it's not right, it's like, well, why is it not right?
Yeah.
At least like make you clear in what you're trying to do.
Yeah, exactly.
Start a conversation.
And then when no one's got the time for that, then you feel like, again, like, oh, but some people can explain it in 2 seconds.
Yeah.
And you just go, yeah, got it. Got it. And some notes are just like, some direction, it could be one word. You know what I mean? It's like, it's like something like, it means more.
Yeah.
Like, do it again, it means more to you. And then you just go, okay, yeah, okay. You know, and then you can flavor it however you like. Yeah.
That's cool.
Cool.
I like that one.
You're going to use that one?
Yeah, I think so, yeah. It's all about me, it's not about you. And so, in terms of mentorship, like me and Oz have benefited a lot from mentorship, as we kind of touched on with the House of the Dragon experience and in other ways as well. And so how has mentorship changed your life, would you say, or how has it helped you?
Yeah, massively, I guess. There's a mentor of mine, John Eccleston, and he hates to be named, but, you know, this was this now. And he's a great guy in the industry for ages, you know, 50 odd, and he hired a friend of mine, Cameron, to edit one of his shorts years and years ago, where all three of us just became such good mates. He's like a father figure type. But he was 19, I think, doing the Disney show, Puppeteer. He's the rat in Horrible Histories. Yeah, I'm the voice. And for years and years and years, and he was the first rat, Rattus. And he's a great puppeteer, been on the TV since 19. And he's just a wealth of knowledge, intelligent guy too. And just having someone that you can, as a friend as well, not like, you know, it wasn't even a mentor, like, oh, I have to email him, you know, and wait for a reply. It just became an actual friend. And to have someone who's done it, and it's not exactly the same, he's never like big on acting and whatnot, but he knew the industry, and he still does. And that was great. And I try and, there's never been anyone the same, I don't think, as that. You know, I've had teachers and different people. But you get stuff from everybody, don't you? You do any job, any person you meet, you're learning something. You know, you just got to be there to receive.
Did the mentor sort of like validate you in some way as well, to give you that encouragement so that you could be like, you know what, I can do this? Yeah,
great. Yeah, 100%. And we did loads of little, like, random bits of shorts together and scenes and stuff. And he was great. It was great advice, you know. And not sugar-coated. Yeah. Same with an acting coach I had, David Johnson. He was like a legend in Manchester. He's gone now, unfortunately. But he was such a bitch. And everyone would say that. He was so mean. But he was never nice, but he was always kind. It's kind to be truthful. You know what I mean? And he doesn't have to, people would cry and run out the class, and then, you know, if you want to leave, you're gone. People crying all the time, just to him, not even in the scene. But he was so razor sharp all the way to the end, and he was brilliant. Proper old, like, he was out, like, 18, he was pulling the rope, 16, he was pulling the ropes in the West End. And he was 60 odd when I met him, 50 plus years or something in the industry.
Wow.
And he was just great. Everything he said was gold dust, but it was painful a lot as well. And that was a great lesson. Yeah.
Yeah. Good. You must be a good networker. I remember when we drove down for the film that we did and we were talking about lots of things, and I remember you saying that you reached out to a whole load of short directors because you've done over 100 shorts, and even at the school here, when students leave, it's about networking and about putting yourself out there. It's difficult. So why did you get proactive in the way of sort of like emailing 1,000 directors to try and do 100 short films?
Well, it was just good advice from a friend of mine, to be fair. Who's Cameron, who's more into the business side of things, I think, But he's dead right. Communication and networking, everyone hates that word, but like, it's so essential. You can't just make art in a vacuum or film in a vacuum. Like, you got to meet these people. And I was doing it yesterday. I'm in an email club. We do it every 9 till 10 every morning. Four or five of us for different reasons all meet up on a Zoom. We all mute ourselves, and then we just start emailing people.
That's great.
We've been doing it for a while.
That's pretty good, that.
And so I at the minute, I'm just watching short films on the websites, and then if it's good, I'll be like, oh, sick. And they'll find their email address, and they'll just like, just watched your films, great. Gonna go for a pint. And so, I don't want to ever stop doing it, Maybe one day get rich enough and busy enough to have someone help me write them, because I hate writing emails. But it's the way to just meet people, and that's what it's got to happen. Yeah, we told me before. I used to have the with Milda. I used to handwrite them. I used to go get coffee with Mills. She'd give me free coffee, and then I had this big book, and I had everyone's email address.
Red book.
A big red book, yeah, hardback, and I was taking it seriously. And everyone's thing and lines, like all their email addresses and the film we worked on, and if I'd emailed them or not, if they got back to me. And it was just hundreds of, like, page upon page. And all the casting directors too.
Wow.
They must have been sick of me.
Yeah.
But some people got back to me.
Yeah, that's how it happens. You only need a few people to come back, don't you?
Exactly.
Out for the hundreds.
Yeah.
And then that's it.
Yeah, so I know people who have worked with you, and every director that I've come across that's worked with you has said good things about you. Why?
Lies. Sure, I paid them. I just paid them all. That's what I've been doing this whole time.
What I'm trying to get at is from an acting point of view, what do you think it is about you that people say positive things? I don't mean about your ego and about that, but it's more about the relationship, isn't it?
Yeah. I don't know. I just really sound. No, I don't know. I get on with people, and I love creatives, and I love films, and I love making stuff. I love going into these new worlds and getting to be this thing, and I love other people's minds. And when they're getting into being creative, like, I could listen to people talk about, even out the industry, just hearing someone talk about their job. They do plumbing or something, and they tell me about it. I'm like, sick. Like, it's so interesting to find out stuff that you don't know, and people are just the epitome of that. You don't know them, you get to know them, and then they love films too. They got all these ideas and stories, and I can live in them. And I don't know. I like meeting people.
Because you've done so many shorts, and I bet a lot of them haven't seen the light of day. Some of them have, but then you've kept that kind of relationship with that director going.
Yeah. I think you just end up finding your people, don't you? You know what I mean? Like, I've definitely done some shorts, and we've not that we're enemies, but we've never spoken again. Maybe after it, it just fades out, doesn't it? But then we did something together, and we're bros.
Yeah.
And so you just find your people, and you start to know more about what you like. And I think people that are taking it seriously as well find each other, because people fade out and people just quit. And there's loads of reasons why people quit, but it's the people that are still here. There's people that have been doing it for 10 years, obviously love it. You know what I mean? All the people that, they slept on couches, and they missed mates' holidays, and they were skint, and they didn't do things for the money. They did it because they're still here now, because they weren't getting paid at the start, and they might still not getting paid now. But they got another job to keep the bills on, keep the lights on, and they must love it because they've been doing this for 10 years. Trying to get a little moolah, of course, so you can not do another job that you don't really like, but they love it. So you find those people.
Yeah. And on the shorts thing, why do you keep doing shorts? Obviously to meet people.
I love them.
What is it you get from doing them? And does your agent ever tell you to stop?
He told me to stop if there was something else that had some money involved, I bet. But no, he loves it. He's all about it. He just tells me to do. He just wants me to do whatever I want. Makes me happy. But shorts make me happy. I it's nice as well to just do a quick little jaunt into a world, and then it's done. You're not getting bogged down with all the. But yeah, I'll keep doing them.
Yeah, I think
let that be a message to if anyone's casting.
Yeah, there you go.
I do think that one thing about you is that you're an actor, yes, but I believe that you're an artist, and what I mean by that is that, like what you said before, that even if you're not getting paid for it, you're content, at one with yourself when you're doing the thing.
Yeah, definitely. The money sound. If you get paid, so you can just do it. That's all I've ever wanted. So just have enough money so I don't have to go, do a coffee shop. I've done my coffee shop time. It's done. But well, it might not be done. Who knows? But there's time. But that's always been that's what I would call success for me. And I can do, and I can write, which I've only just started doing, which has been great. And I am content. I just love being on set. I love being a creative with people.
It's worth talking about like what 90% of the actor's life is, which is rejection and auditions.
Oh yeah.
So you've obviously navigated that in quite a successful way and getting cast in the things that you've been casting. So do you have a process for tackling these sorts of things other than doing podcasts instead of practicing for them?
I'm going to read it in a bit. All right, I've been reading it. But for audition, I love auditions. I don't know why people really don't like them. I love them. Again, just meeting people. Sound. And, you get to do your thing. It's a gift. You know what I mean? You get to do your thing in front of also very, very high people. You get to do your thing in front of casting directors who've been around the block, and some of them have been at it for 30 years, and they've seen loads of great people. So you get to do it in front of them, and you get to do it to the room, and the director might see it. Hopefully they will. Yeah. But whoever knows might see it. And the nose, I don't care. The nose, water for ducks, back. Yeah.
You just focus in on the chance. You just focus in on the acting.
Yeah. Just the nose, they've never upset me. Occasionally, when you go to like a recall, and then another one, and you're like, oh my God, my life's going to change. And you need to stop thinking about that.
Yeah.
Like that's when the moment's getting bigger than you again. Like you just got to be like, forget it. And then if that is a no, which, of course they are.
Don't tell us what that no.
No! There's been a few. Like, and you just feel like, I'm going to buy my mum a house, man. I'm going to get my dad a house. I'm going to get a boat.
Yeah.
And there'll be season 10 of
fun short films for all the mates, so you got that.
They'll make me one of them little Funko heads.
Yeah.
And then you're just like, no. And you're like, oh, fuck. Okay.
Yeah.
Sound. But that's it. They're the only ones that hurt a bit. And that's only because you're being stupid. You're living in the wrong type of fairyland. You know what I mean?
But I think it's important, though, that we have touched on rejection because, in this industry, there is a lot of rejection that goes on. And those people that stay in it, like what you were saying, despite the rejection, despite the lack of motivation, despite the fact that, you might be on the down, you've got to be doing it for truly while you're doing it, right?
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, and that's it. And you just lose your way. You lose your way and you very quickly find, you get taken back to reality. And it doesn't take long. It's just that, and as well, it's not about the money and the thing. It's, you really wanted that character. It would have been great. There's certain ones that you just like, I'd smash this. I would smash this. But you can only get across so much, especially on a tape. You just send them, it starts with the first line and ends with the last line. And that gets sent out maybe to LA or something. And they go, yeah, nice. Or they go, it's good, and they don't know who you are. They might, if you went out for a pint with them, they might put you in 2 movies, but.
So you said before that you've moved on to writing.
Yeah.
When and how did that come about? And I believe you have something in development, or you've been developing it as you've been going along. It's a body horror, right? I believe.
A little bit, yeah, psychological.
About
body horror.
mental health and masculinity.
Yeah, about masculinity.
So talk to us about that. Was that something that was already in you, or did you evolve from acting into writing? Or have you always been a writer?
No, first time. I just, something to do. Wrote a short, thought it was an idea, and then I just thought I'll just do a short. And then when I finished the short, I was like, fuck it. Might as well. Might as well finish it. And because there was more to be done. And it was one of the actors on Rogues, actually, Mark Rowley. Great lad. Really great guy. So enthusiastic and gets people motivated just by being himself. And he got me going. And he was like, oh, do it, man. Finish it. Write it. Make the feature. And so I did. And yeah, I've not moved to writing. I only wrote it because I'm the lead. It's like, I was like, I'll just write my own part then, shall I?
Yeah.
That's it. But it's been fun. Sick of it now. 7th draft.
Yeah.
Only another 15 to go and be ready. Yeah.
Did you have a process with it, or was it just sitting down and doing it?
Sometimes it came out, and sometimes it was just like, I've got into a bit where it's like, write it for 5 minutes before I look at my phone when I wake up. So I just got out of bed and I was like, just do it. And then you end up doing 20 minutes. And I got some pages done that way. But
I know someone else that does that.
Do you do that?
1 hour every morning. Usually half an hour.
Okay, yeah. Mine's usually 5 minutes. But yeah, it's good, isn't it? Because you just set your frames your day as well. And often on those days, I only did that on this draft. But then I kept coming back to it more because your day is like about that and not about your bloody phone. Most days are these days, like, so about. But yeah, just getting into the swing. I have good days, and I've didn't write anything for 3 weeks, and then back into it, and then yeah. Now I just sit there listening to. That sounds so crazy. Listening to white noise. I got a brown noise, which is a little bit chill.
I do the same.
Yeah. Oh, there you go.
I don't know if I'm not formally diagnosed with ADHD or anything, but I've read that it means that your brain's not allowed to do the things.
Yeah.
So it just treadmills on the white noise, so you can actually get on with other stuff.
Yeah. And that's why people. I think I've probably got ADHD. Who knows? But everyone's got it these days, haven't they? But like that's why people like to stim in. They like to flick something, and so do I. I love that. Or a toothpick, and then that with this, and then you got your other parts of your brain busy, and then you can just kind of.
Yeah.
And I guess closing out, you've been on a bit of a journey across this way into acting, and sitting in this seat here. So what are the key things that you've learned about yourself, if this is deep and philosophical, but what are the key things you've sort of learned along the way about the job for yourself?
I just wish I had a smarter answer, but I don't know. I don't know. I guess, and as well, doing it from being, say, 19. Doing it from when I was a kid. So it's been me, because I've always kind of done it. I didn't take it seriously until 19, 20. But because I've been doing it the whole time, I can't, it's just been, there's nothing I can say that it's given me, because it's always been there. You know what I mean? It's just the story of me now. So I've never really thought about it. It's kind of weird. But yeah.
Was there any sort of like key learning experience which you kind of went through, whether it was like a big mistake that you made which had to sort of like, do you know what I mean? Or like there's always like moments along the way which are either like seminal in terms of like, okay, I can do this thing now, or something like that, which kind of shifts you forward.
Yeah. No. Origin story kind of thing.
Yeah.
The moment, catalyst, if you will.
Yeah.
I can't think of one. I think it's always just been, I've never not thought I could do it. I've literally just always thought, I've never once doubted that I couldn't fucking smash it. And whether I have or not, and whether I've been laughed at or not, or told to get a job or not, I've never not thought it wasn't going to go well. It's never crossed my mind that it's not going to go exactly as I wanted it to.
Yeah.
And, we'll see, getting there.
Yeah.
Do you have any tips? Like, you remember I sent you that question last night?
Oh, yeah.
Did you think about it?
Yeah.
So do you have any tips for people, like,
That's not what it said.
what?
Literally not what it said. She said, I have some tips. I would have thought of some. Send loads of emails. definitely. And meet people as much as possible. And don't call it networking. You're just meeting people that want to do what you want to do. And you meet people that really want to help you with your story, if you're a director, especially, you know. But just meet as many, yeah. And you all stay friends. Because you can always have crew. You can always be crewed up if you stay friends with all each other.
Yeah.
And get each other's stuff made. And just, yeah. And always enjoy it. If you stop enjoying it, if you ever chase money, because that's not going to happen for a bit, unless you're very lucky. But that should never be the case. That should never be the idea, the ideal of art. You should do it because you need to do it. Yeah. God, I did come up with a wanky answer.
There you go. Nailed it. Come in clutch. I think that concludes the talk. So,
Thank you
round of
very
applause
much.
for Corin Silva.
Thank you, Corin.
Thanks, guys.